Hi guys, this is Vijay. So here today I'm going to continue with the same series of the Postman where I'm going to create the logical construct of the this is called ACI. I'm going to create that EPG VRF bridge domain tenant from the my Postman script. Okay, and first thing is I will show that how to create manually the each segments. So for example, if you want to create a tenant, if you want to create a EPG, if you want to create bridge domain, how to create it manually, and how to create it using the CSV file. Okay, and also in the at the last, I will show that how to use the automation for with the uh, tools. Now, this is the ACI I have, and this is the Postman application I have. In the Postman application, if you see that, I have couple of script which I have created. If I go to the in-to-in, I have two types of login. I have a XML login, I have a JSON login. So if I click on the XML login, I am having something issue with the XML login. That's okay. I will try to push the validate the JSON login. If you see the JSON login, I do have the environment where I have created that various thing. I have created the username, password, including the tokens from where I got the tokens. So without the token, first I validated the communication. Once the ACI given me the reply with the token, then I have used that token to validate all the configuration in the uh, devices. Okay. So just give me a second. Let me refresh this page. Then I continue with the configuration. All right. So I have this my Epic node with me. Let me try to log in this Epic node. Here we go. Then I will see that here I do not have any tenants which I want to create. I will create the new tenant with the new configuration. So target is this is topology I have. I want to create the name tenant, and the tenant name is a Postman. I want to create the VRF. The VRF name is a Postman. And I want to create the some configuration where I can push that my EPG bridge domain. I do the static binding to follow through the same access policy which I have created earlier, part of the video. Um, if I click on the here, so very first thing is what I will do here is I will go to my Epic, and in the Epic I have created the one login where I have created the one variable here over here. In the variable, what information I have given here. So very first thing is what you will do here, and what you should be doing over here is very first time is when you try to log in, use that Epic IP address, and the triple login it can be JSON and XML, and try to log in without the certificate, without the token. If you remove the without token, sometimes what happens is your Epic does not reply with the without token. So very first thing is we try to log in without the token. Once you get the token, one successful token, you will see that I have the token, which is saying that Epic is successfully logged in, and this is the revert token ID it is giving. So what I've done here is I have updated the same token in the way my environment here. If you see here in the environment, I have updated the same token over here. And the same token I'm calling under the my all the subtask where I'm creating that in a header. If you see that in a header, I've called that content type is a JSON, and the cookies make sure that you use this particular token. So you can here you can write this kind of a script like this, and you can edit it from here. You can add the more variables if you want to, right? Similarly, I have called under the each cookies here, and I have selected here and saved the content and the configuration over here. Okay. So the domain also, I have created the same thing. So my task is over here is to create first tenant. Okay. And how to create the tenant. I have logged in the verification. Then I have a script where I want to create that Postman tenant name is by Postman. Postman. Okay. And then let me save this configuration. I try to push the configuration. If you see that push the configuration, I do have authentication issue, which is okay. Let me try to revalidate it again, because the problem is if we, yeah. So that is the only issue. So what I will do here is I will because this particular post which I'm doing is a post of the uh, XML, and the login I have done validated. That login is your JSON. That's the reason it is not creating the tenant. So what I will do here is I will try to create the using the JSON format itself, this tenant. So let me log in through the JSON and create that name is a Postman. JSON, I will say that Postman. Okay, this is my script to create the one a tenant, and I will use to push this configuration through the JSON itself. So I will say that JSON, last JSON. Send this is a very important part of it. This is the URL. This is the API call which I'm trying to call from the API here. Now, if you see that here, again, this is signed that token was invalid. So if I go to the token here, and let's see why it was saying that invalid. Just give me a second. Let me fix the format and try to push it again. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create Postman 1 here. Okay. I have removed that for the scripting. I have removed that header also because it was creating the issue for me. So I'm going without the header, without the certificate. You will see that I have posted the configuration, and the posting the configuration saying that you have posted the configuration on this router, this particular device, and this is the result body. If I see the result body, I've not captured over. If I log into my API here, I should be able to see that the Postman 1 and Postman is tenant over here. Okay, from there. Same thing you can attempt from the using the your CSV file also. But here I am creating the this particular configuration using the non-CSV. You can delete it also. The configuration is same. You can instead of saying that create it, you can say the status delete it. It will automatically delete the configuration. So for example, if I want to delete the configuration, what I will do here is I will just simply say here, sorry, I will simply say that a postman which I have created, I want to delete it status. If I click here, look here. If I go to my tenant here, now the postman, this one should be removed here. Postman, capital P, sorry. A capital P should be removed. Then if I go to here, look here, the postman has gone, the tenant. Same thing you can do it using the different method, right? Suppose, for example, you want to create the VRF, you want to create the application profile. Same thing you can do it from the here itself without any needing of any kind of script here, script learning. Okay. Now, for example, I want to create one bridge domain or one VRF, for example, right? How are you going to create that? Let me create one manual VRF and show that how to create the manual VRF using the your JSON language or XML language. Okay. Okay. So if I want to create the VRF, let me add the another request in the same file. I will say that uh, create VRF. And how to create the VRF? Very first thing is what I will do here is I will try to. There is a two types of VRF: enforced VRF, unenforced VRF, right? So very first thing is I will try to log in the Epic, which is I'm logging already. Okay, and the post I want to do it, not the put get, and I will save this script and I will say that up below the tenant, I will create the VRF. And the VRF, what I want to do here is where I want to create the VRF. The URL must be very important over here. So I'm saying that in the Epic one, in the tenant and VRF. So what I will do here is rather than creating the separate CSV file, anything, I will add the variable over here itself. So if I go to here in variable, I will say that uh, tenant, I want to say that postman one. Then I will say that VRF, I will say that I want to create postman. These are the two things. If you do not want to add anything in the network, you can still create this variable from here. If you see the variable in the variable, why this VRF is not coming? Mm, add variable. Okay, here you say that post man. Okay, I will delete this one, which is okay. I will delete above one, postman. Okay, this is how you create that easiest way of. You can call the variable from the API itself. And if you see that, if I'm trying to push the configuration, and this is what is going to create it. And in the raw data, what I will do here is I will paste that my script which I have for the JSON format. You can have an XML format here. In the JSON format, I'm saying that use this variable from the postman, which is a postman one tenant, under the which VRF you're going to use. VRF you're going to use name is postman one. If I say status, what status I'm going to create it. I will save this, then I will log in first Epic. Okay, then I will create this VRF. If I say the send, I should be saying the 200 status. Now, if I go to my Epic node here, postman one tenant, if I go inside my postman one, right, I can, if I click on the particular tenant VRF, I should be getting that one particular VRF name is postman. Look here. Same thing, if you want to create the bridge domain, layer 2 bridge domain, layer 3 bridge domain, you can create it manually. Okay. Either you can use a CSV format or either you can use your JSON format or XML format, or you can use either the variable over here. Variable is also fine, like this one. If you have the lesser configuration tenant and VRF, you can use this special local variable, right, within the here. But if you're having the bulk configuration, for example, let's take example. I want to create one application profile, right? So I will say the add request. I want to create app profile. In the app profile, what I will do, I will say that I want to post the configuration. Okay. And what post the configuration I want to do? I want to say that I want to create tenant this one and the which variable I want to say. I want to say that I'm going to add this variable. The value I'm going to add here is CSV. I will say that Postman AP application profile. Then I have added this variable, and if I click on the body, in the body, what I'm going to paste it over here. I will paste the script which I'm going payroll script which I'm trying to push that. I'm trying to say that under this Postman one tenant, I will create the application profile name is Postman AP. If I say the post this configuration, look here, 100%. If I go to the now my ACI, if I click on the application profile, in the application profile, I should have one application profile name as a Postman AP. Look here. Okay, this is one of the way of doing it. Okay, now if you want to create the bridge domain, something kind of similarly, you can do it similarly, right? For example, if you want to create the multiple bridge domain, if you want to create the hundreds of bridge domain, what you can do here is I have one script here. We call a CSV script here like this. You can have a multiple bridge domain using this format. You can call the bridge tenant name where you want to create. You can create the script here, and you can give here the variable itself over here. Look here, add the variable, and you can add or keep adding over here in each format. Now, what if you want to create the bulk configuration like EPG you want to create, and that EPG must be the 5 EPG you want to create, 5 bridge domain you want to create, 5 uh, uh, yeah, these are the format you want to create. So what I want to do here is the next request is I want to create the 5 bridge domain, layer 2 bridge domain, which should be associated with my 5 EPGs, Okay, and each EPG should have the static binding here. Okay, and each EPG must have the specific domain. So I have already created one CSV format over here. If you see that here in the CSV format, one Excel sheet in Excel sheet, if I click on the bridge domain object in a bridge domain object saying the BD name. So rather than here keeping the variable adding over here and adding the name, you can create one Excel sheet if you're having a bulk configuration, right? And you can give that, for example, this is the EPG name I want to keep here, 120, and I want to create 121, 122, 123 till 29. Similarly, I want to create the bridge domain. This is the bridge domain name. VRF, want to use Postman, which is already created. Domain, I want to create as a Postman physical. Okay. Node ID is already node profile, interface profile is already I have created in part of the previous session. I'm going to use both the switches 1/35 interface, this interface for the static binding and allow the VLAN on each EPG 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. These are the VLAN I want to allow for these one. Then I will save this file as a CSV file. Save this file. Okay. Save this file, which format? Common CSV format. Okay. Then I will say the Postman ACI 1. I will save in my download folder. Make sure that you save locally where your Postman application is sitting. Okay. Then what I will do here, I will click here. I will say run collection. Run collection means I want to run all the script in one time. I will say that I want run BD, VRF, and the creation. Yeah. Object. I want to create the BD, EPG, static binding. These things I want to do. I don't want to create this request because I've already used that. Then I will call that particular file. I will say that preview. In a preview, what I'm going to create it. If you see that these are the configuration I'm going to push from the Postman, then I will say that make sure that this is the CSV format you have selected, persistent, and I will check that ACI. If you see that in ACI, there is a 0 EPG. There is a 0 EPG is created over here. But one thing I notice here, I need to check that, make sure that in my BD, I have a right tenant called over here, URL. I will say that Postman 1. Okay, this is the right tenant. You make sure that you are calling under the URL. So you're pushing the if you push the configuration, you will not have any kind of failure. It should be the capital P. Yeah, capital P. Here we go. Done. In the EPG, where I'm going to create under this tenant. Okay. Under which application profile I want to create EPG. I will create the Postman AP. Make sure that you're matching the exact name. Postman is capital P. Done. Then I will change the URL here where I want to push the configuration, Postman 1 tenant. Then static binding, I will again change the URL here, Postman 1 AP /. Okay. And if I go to the domain, in the domain also where I want to associate under this tenant, under a specific EPG, I want to associate the domain, right? Now, if I go to the again and try to run this, sorry, let me close maximum pages. Okay, a lot of pages have been opened for no reason. If it is confusing, let me change the settings also. Themes. Let me go to the white. It's much more visible. Okay. Then I will say that I will run the collection. In the collection, I will say that uncheck all the script which I don't want to run. These are the some script which I don't want to run part of this. Then I will select my CSV file. I will check this. In advanced setting, I do not need to check anything. I will say that run this format, run this script. If you see that here, one error is not, you will notice here. 403 error. Why the 403 error? There might be the issue with the my token itself. If you see that here, token invalid, timeout. So what I will do here is I will close this one. I will go to the under the each header here. So I will validate the token. Token is fine. If I send this one and again saying that everything is fine, I will copy this token. Okay. I will come to the here in the variable itself. And the variable, I will update the token. I will delete this all the configuration remaining what I have done so far. Okay. In the token, I will update this token and save this. Then I will go again to the my here and I will try to log in. Make sure everything is fine. Okay. I will uncheck this. So check and check, it doesn't matter really. Static also. If I click here, domain, right? Here I have done wrong in the domain. I will say that Postman AP. Okay. Then I will say that run the collection. In the running collection, I will uncheck that the task which we did not want to have it. Okay. I will select this file again. I will run it. Now this time it's showing that 400. So let me fix that token first. Then I will try to push the configuration. So I'm verifying that. One thing I found here is the access application profile, which I've created over here in the tenant, was wrong in the call itself. It should be the capital P Postman AP. If you see here, I have updated the Postman AP in the URL as well as in the script here, Postman AP. So if I try to run again, run collection, I will uncheck all the script which I don't need that. And if I try to run again, preview this, BD is already created, I believe. So BD may have a error, but it shouldn't be the issue with the other one. So if you see here, some of the configuration is already pushing, some of the configuration having an issue. The partially is successful, but it's not 100% successful. And let's see what configuration has been successful. If you see that login is successful, VRF creation is wrong, which is fine. BD is fine. BD is already created. I do not need this BD to be exist. Center already exists, so do not need that. Because the VRF is already should be. Did I select the VRF? I might selected the wrong VRF. You will see that domain and static binding has been now successfully created. Now, if I go to the my tenant or my Epic now, if you see here, if I refresh my this page, I should be see the 10 EPGs. 10 EPGs, right? Inside the EPG, if you see the VRF, everything is created over. Bridge domain is also created over. Exact same bridge domain and settings which I have called under the my Excel format. Exact same has been created over here. If I go to the my bridge my EPGs, CSV is useful when you're doing the bulk configuration. Also, it's very important for you to you can use this CSV format in a day-to-day operation to avoid any kind of human intervention or issues with the any kind. Right? You will see the physical domain I have associated. I have created the static binding also. Look here. It's a trunk port. For 120 VLAN, exact same, 120, 121, 122. If I click on the here, if I go here, it should also showing that 120, 121, right? Physical domain. If I go to the physical domain should be also coming over there. If I click on the fabric in a physical domain, should have created over here. It's already exists, so that's the reason. If I call that here, physical domain, I think, yeah, physical domain, if I call under the right physical domain over here, if I call the physical domain physical, I don't know why it is not coming over there, but it should be coming. The moment I will call that, uh, I should be having some sort of learning over here. If I click on the fabric and VLAN, uh, if I see the VLAN, which VLAN 100 to 199, this is the VLAN I'm using that. If I go to the pool and in the physical domain, I should be calling that VLAN pool, then only it will use that. Yeah, in the physical domain, the VLAN is missing itself. I will call this VLAN. If I click on the tenant, application profile here, now I can create the similarly, I can create the tenants, I can create the contract, I can create a lot of other configuration. For example, I want to create the contract. How you gonna create the contract? Or for example, I want to create the BPC EPG. I want to create the any uh, application binding. If I want to create the access policy, same thing I can do it, right? Application profile. If you want to do it, I can do it, and for that I can create all the CSV format. Or if you do not want to CSV, you can create it manually also. So it's up to you how you want to create that, right? So for example, I want to create the VLAN pool like last time I did here. So for VLAN pool, what I can do here is uh, I can go here and in the same one, I can add the VLAN pool creation. For example, here in the access policy, here ACI test, not this one. If I go to build up all access policy, if I VLAN pool creation, I can push the configuration from here. I can add the variable over here itself. You know, what name you want to have, what configuration you want to have, right? You can create a dynamic pool, static pool. It's up to your requirement. What you want to do here is, suppose if you want to create the contract filtering, how you create the contract and filtering. So I have a script where I can create that contract and filtering. For example, here in the particular which tenant, I want to create the Postman one tenant. If I say that in environment, what is the contact name I want to give? I will say that in a contact name, I want to see that you can get CSV format, Postman contract. Okay. Then now if I click on the here, I will say that which tenant, Postman, which contact, Postman contact, what is the subject name? I will say that in the subject, I will say that Postman subject. Okay. Then I can create in the filter also what name you want to give here. I want to say that Postman filter. Or you can create the CSV also. That's the easiest way of CSV is easiest way of doing it, right? Now, if you want to create the entry for the any thing, you can create here source port, destination port. I will say that I want to create source port 80. I want to create destination port as a 8080, for example. I will add in the environment. I will call this under the filter. Okay. And here I will say that 443 is bidirectional. And I can call that TCP uh, any or environment. I can so call that 443 both the side from the 53. Okay, this is the your login detail. Now I can log in this APIC and I can push the entire configuration in my database. Okay, so if I go to the here, if I log in again this APIC, let me copy paste this configuration under this one, save, and I will make sure that I have this all the format over here. Save this, and then I will run the as a runner. If I run this as a runner, run this, saying that there is an issue with your the header, and it is trying to create it though created unspecified ICMP. These are the details which I have used that. Login is successful, but the only problem I can see here is might be the VAT token. So I need to update the token also here. So if I go to the header, the token is not available. So what I will do here is I will click on the BD and I will use the exact same token over there. Copy here. I will say that here, edit bulk setting, save this, edit this one, go to the header, save this. If I go to the header, save this. Now, again, if I try to run this, run collection, I can create that all the here. I do not have this though, this folder. I can create it manually one by one rather than running the entire field. I can see that login first, then create the contract, saying that bad incomplete node line. Okay, just give me a second. So there is a node line which is incomplete. Postman, I want to say that Postman, this one. Scope is context within the VRF. I think this syntax is having some sort of trouble. That's the reason I'm unable to create the tenant name is Postman, contact is this one, subject is this one. If I post it over here, again saying that destination node not found. So tenant Postman subject this one. Yeah. So what I will do here, I will just create the filter first. Yeah. So there is some issue which I will figure it out what exactly is going on. Okay. But yeah, this is how you can create it. Your one by one script. So I will also give a post along with this session. I will also upload that script which I have uh, for the entire this CSV format. Okay, so I will upload this all my script with my in the description. You guys can follow that and do that day-to-day practice. And yeah, the next session I'm going to do here is I'm going to show that how to let me do it today itself. How to write a program using the using the chat GPT and without knowing anything how you can write the for example, let me suppose you do not know anything what to write, what to not write. What you're going to do here is I will open the chat GPT. Okay, then I will say ask chat GPT, write a JSON script for Cisco ACI uh, tenant and VRF and one BD creation, including post URL. Now, this is how you ask your chat GPT, can write me a script for me where I can post the configuration. So look here, I will just simply copy paste from here. Okay, so this is the codeless scripting. So industry is moving towards the codeless scripting. You do not need to learn about the scripting. That's a very old method of learning a skill. I will copy this here and I will give it a live example. Okay, I will say that this, I will create another folder. The folder name, I will say that uh, chat GPT. Okay, and if you have GitHub, you can also include the GitHub also. Then I will say that I will create the one request under it. I will say that Epic login. Okay, in the Epic login, first I will Epic login, then I will create another request. After Epic login, I will say that post config, and I will save this. Then I will go to the chat GPT now. Okay, and I will say that, okay, I'm going to copy this entire this one. I will go to the Postman. All right. And I am going to give my variable here, a pick, right? Variable is picking now. I will see the save this. Then I will see the in the body, in the raw data, I'm going to copy the entire script where I'm going to see the tenant example. This is the example where I'm going to create. This is the VRF I'm going to create. The VRF name is example. BD name is example. Okay. If I want to give that BD L2 also, you can give that in the gateway also we are creating in the BD. This is all the configuration. Okay. And this is the curl configuration where you can post it also. Okay. Payload. Now what I will do here, I will just entirely copy this script, paste it over here. Okay, and I will save this. And if I say that, let me first log in the Epic, um, log in the Epic in the body. Sorry, I will log in, copy this entire script, credential, paste it over here. Then I will copy the URL. Then I will say that, all right, I will say the post, save this. I will authenticate first. Then I will post the configuration saying that there's a bad XML, saying that output format is not possible in XJSON. Just give me a second. And it should have it is a JSON format. Write in JSON format for Postman tool. Okay, I'm telling my chat GPT only give me the specific now. Okay, let's see. This should be the JSON format only. I will copy this again and I will try to paste it over here again. Save this, post the configuration. Possible JSON.xml. Just give me a second. Let me paste that my token also. So make sure that there is no issue with the token I have. That's fine. XML. Possible options. The output was not, which is fine. It's saying the server could not understand the syntax. Uh, Syntax issue should not be come over here. I'm saying that to create the tenant, status is created. Then I'm saying that in the child, I'm going to create the VRF. Then I'm saying that I'm going to create the, no, it must be the JSON format only. Okay, just give me a second. Let me log in again and paste it. So saying that tenant example is already exist. Okay. So what I can do here is I can create another tenant one. One is already created. In the here, if I click on the tenant, all the tenants, tenant example, I don't think it exists over here. If I postman again, tenant example, if I say post, say that does not match the property of the BD. Okay. Example one, send. Already BD is already exist over here. So I will say that BD name is also, I'm going to change it one VRF1. So maybe this is already existing. That's the reason it is creating the issue for me. Already exists. This tenant object is already cannot create the private context object. Okay, so what I will do here is I will check the what is going on. If I click here in the heroes in the VRF, I don't know why it is saying that already exists, but yeah, this is I hope you got the idea how to create this the tenants and all. It's the same. It's not much difference over here. Okay, I see CTX tenant one VRF one. Okay, um, already exist. Just give me a second. This is the tenant URL, which is fine. Example one. Okay, so the problem is this some of the configuration already exist in my ACI. That's the reason, but I will fix that. But yeah, this is the I wanted to show that how to write the script without knowing the script, right? This is the easiest form of writing a script and posting the configuration. The major thing is you can write the manually. Manually writing is not the best option. If you want to post the script to the CSV, that's the best way of doing your day-to-day operation. For example, static binding, uh, EPG creation, port creation, these all the things. Also, you can get that extract all the information here also, right? If you want to extract the information, you can always extract the configuration from the here. Okay. All right, guys. I just this is what I wanted to show in the Postman. Then in the next session, I'm going to show that how to do the scripting using the Ansible for the Cisco ACI. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this video.